Just en route to Radio Derby, just around the corner, going to pull up 12 o'clock Ian Sky show. Just wants to do a bit of like a bit of a biography of my achievements and about my life and social media. So we'll see how we get on. Close to 500,000 followers, alhamdulillah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We're here now, pulling up. Welcome to BBC Radio Derby. Just pulled up. We're going through. We're on BBC Radio Derby today, 12 o'clock show with Ian Sky. I'm happy to be here. This is my maybe third time I've come to BBC Radio Derby over the course of the last couple of years. It's great to be here. It's a lovely environment. Keep watching. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be
time for a bit of lunchtime conversation on the programme. My guest for lunch today is motivational athlete. I don't know what to call some people. They do so much stuff. Ali Rasheed's here. Good morning.
Good morning, going into good afternoon.
Afternoon, yeah.
How
It's
are
a
you,
force
Ian?
of habit. I've been doing this for 2 hours, so morning. Yeah, Lion AR is where to find you, right? On what? YouTube, Instagram, what?
Yeah, many platforms. YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. It's all Lion AR official, or you can just hashtag it and it'll come up.
What do you describe what you do as?
I'm the guy who knows the guy, and I'm behind the guys. So literally,
You're going to have to elaborate on that.
I started off doing YouTube maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, and I just thought at that point there was no one really local doing anything. So I've always been like the kind of person who tries to adapt and try and be like moving into the next genre. So I thought, let's get onto social media. Taekwondo, and I won the British and the European Championships. And I've always been a bit of a known person.
Mm-hmm.
I've always gotten with everybody, help people, you know, always try and be that motivational person. So I've gone onto YouTube and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go live with my first video, I'm going to hype this up, and I'm going to have 1,000 followers in the first day, and I have 10,000 in the first month.
1,000's a magic number, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
we were trying to head this way. So I went onto YouTube, pumped it all up, hyped it up, put it out there. I got 50 followers in the first day. I was like, this is a bit disappointing. What's going on? Very hard. After the first month, I kind of realized it's a very hard platform to be on. But it didn't stop me, so I kept it progressing. YouTube, Instagram started growing quite rapidly because of just stuff that you're putting out. It comes across the feed really easy. Recently adapted into TikTok. Been on it for maybe just under 2 years.
Yeah, that's crazy to second guess.
Yeah. Just been on it for a couple of years because I knew that's the way the people are going, and people are talking about a bit of a challenge.
And what sort of stuff, what's your content about?
All right, okay, so I started off doing the training kind of videos, adapted on YouTube into car videos because I've always had a nice car. So I thought, why not talk about my own cars instead of people who borrow people's cars? Yeah. Then into boxing. I'm a qualified boxing coach. So I thought might as well start putting on some boxing content on there, talking to boxers, got into media work, signed up with Queensbury, which is Frank Warren's platform, and Matchroom, which is Eddie Hearn's platform. That's it. From there, that journey just progressed, and I've interviewed some of the biggest, best fighters in the world on my channel. Amir Khan, Tyson Fury, you know, there's been different people.
So you're getting some perks of what you're doing now. You're going all over.
Yeah, of course. And
all the big bouts.
On the back of TikTok now, I'm close to 500,000 followers, and I think I'm the most followed person in Derby on varied platforms. There's, you know, somebody else out there who's probably got more on one.
Yeah.
But as a varied follower and someone who's consistent, just being in the know-how, I'm the most followed person in Derby.
Well, let's talk about how you got here. Who's Ali Rashid? You jumped out at me. He's nearly drowning in Mark Eaton Park at 10 years. What, in the lake or the paddling pool? What?
No, I can't remember which pool it was, but there's a bridge. This is crazy, right? I'm walking across the bridge, and then I used to go out with an older couple who used to live on my street. They used to take us out, and I was young guys. I was one of these conniving, kind of keen, enthusiast, young kind of children. Always want to know what's around the corner. Walking over this, there was the rocks that go through one of the bridges underneath the river. So I was walking over it and I slipped. And the worst thing is, I was on my own and my brother was on the other side, so he see me. So he's called the older couple over who we went out with, they literally had to come over and kind of balance themselves and pull me out. I could feel like I can remember I was like almost drowning. I had the water going in my nose and
That's
my mouth.
trauma, isn't it?
It was, and I can always remember it to go back to, and it kind of put me off from swimming and everything for a little
What
while.
you going to say is put you off Mark Eaton Park. That'd be a terrible shame.
Yeah, but it's Mark Eaton Park's a bit of heritage for Derby, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that's one of my old childhood memories, and it actually made me realise I need to be a better swimmer here. You know, and it got me into swimming, and I can swim now.
See, that's the right way to handle it psychologically, isn't it?
Yeah,
Motivate yourself.
Just go straight into the deep end, as they say.
You also say as a lad you got yourself into fights a bit, but not in a bad way.
I've got a lot of scars, and I've had my nose broken so many times, but it's all on the back of trying to help people. I never really used to fight for myself. I've always been the kind of guy who'd like to try and be strong. You can't be wrong and strong, but you can be right and fight. That's what I believe in. So people used to, like in school, used to get bullied, like some of my mates and stuff, and I used to be like, don't say that, that's not nice, or you're being racist, or whatever, and you used to get someone to smack you, and then you're fighting back, and then you're like getting into all these fights. And at that point I thought, you know what, I've got the go, but I haven't got the how to go.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into Taekwondo, to learn how to kind of fight. It just kind of adapted me into a way of becoming defensive and learning how to fight.
What happened when you went home and said I got into a fight?
Early days, I used to get reprimanded a lot, and used to be told to stay upstairs in my room, or old school parenting, and I believe that worked, where dad would be a little bit like, stand there, don't move, do this, or sometimes even a little slap in the face.
I mean, as an adult now, you must recognise that must have been a tough gig for them. You're first generation British, right? They came from Pakistan.
No, I was born.
If you say like, someone was being racist and I went and took their side, he wants his lad not to be getting into fights equally, like standing up for himself.
Yeah, but my dad was always like, he's always been a kind of help somebody if they need to, but on this occasion, do not get involved in fights. Don't do this.
That's a fine line, though.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes he's thinking I'm doing it for myself, but ultimately he'd go to school. He was called into school many a times. I got to a point where I nearly got excluded and suspended and whatever else. And then I had to kind of settle down. I think Taekwondo. This is what I'm going back to.
Was that the first discipline you properly started learning?
Yeah, the discipline, the whole thing, the 5 tenets of Taekwondo. One of them is discipline. So it kind of settled me down a little bit, and I was kind of then being able to release that aggression and the tendencies that I needed to kind of exasperate myself in the gym. And it was a really good environment, and I met a lot of people. And it's like when you're fighting some of the older guys, you'd be fighting men. You kind of learn, like, this is where I need to be learning the art of defending myself properly, controlled environment, and it actually made me a better person. And from then, them disciplines, fast forward into today, literally just makes me realise, don't smoke, I don't drink, stay away from stuff like e-cigarettes. So this kind of stuff that's going out there nowadays. The young generation, and this is one thing I stand against really firmly, is like, you can't be a smoker and a trainer. A trainer and a smoker, they're not the same thing. You're either one or the other. You can't mingle. And when I sat with Amir Khan, he loves a shisha. He smokes a lot of shisha.
Yeah.
And one of his decline in his later fights has come from just living a famed lifestyle. And with that is he's always smoking shisha, and he's always content wherever he goes. And you can see the decline in his ability to...
You tell him that?
Yeah, we had this conversation, but he loves it, and he laughs it off, and he says, look, I put my graft in, I am where I am a celebrity now. Yeah, and he's earned it, he led the way. He's a silver medalist and whatever else, and now he's accumulated lots of money, so he's enjoying it. And I spoke to him about 5 weeks ago, and he's literally saying that he don't even want to go back into boxing ever again. Like, sometimes, when it's in your system, and some of these old boxers, they're just always looking for that way back in, that they feel like they can still do it. He literally accepts it.
He's done that.
He goes, I've not picked a pair of boxing gloves up since I fought Kell Brook. Since that fight, I thought, he's got a good setup in his house. He goes, they're in my bag, they're right there, and I thought every week or 2 weeks I'll have a couple of sessions. He's not gone back to it at all. He would not lace a glove since.
Yeah. We talked about Taekwondo. When did you get into boxing?
Boxing, that's a good question. I mean, I've been doing boxing for about 17, 18 years. I adapted from Taekwondo. Boxing
Is that an easy transition?
It is. It is in terms of footwork, because the advantage a lot of martial artists have when they adapt to boxing is they have the agile feet, and you'll see it if someone's converted. The only thing they lack on is the hands, and that's when you see bad techniques sometimes where they're rabbit punching or they're not extending the shots, because in Taekwondo it's more leg based. You're like 70%, 30% hands. So my legs were really amazing, but obviously you can't use kicks in boxing. A couple of times, you get them in the corner, you just want to give them a little side kick or something, but it ain't going to work.
You can't do that.
No.
Not in the boxing. You're clearly a man who works hard in the gym.
We try. I mean, even now, I spend 4 or 5 days a week training, 2 to 3 days of conditioning work or strength work, and 2 days or 3 days, whichever way around it falls in the week, in boxing or a bit of cardio regarding boxing.
So 5 days a week training.
Yeah.
Multiple social media platforms.
Yeah.
5 kids.
Yeah, 5 kids.
When do you sleep?
That's a good question. Every 2 days.
Wow.
No, that's a joke. We try.
There's some serious time management going on there, in all seriousness, isn't there?
To be honest, it's very time consuming being on social media in terms of growing the audience on different platforms. That takes a long time, because if you talk about YouTube alone, I'm only up to like just under 18,000 followers, but I've had like 3.5 million views on the channel. For a local guy, that's good work. Because I know others who have tried and they failed at 200 subscribers. It's not an easy route to get the algorithm to pick you up. But in terms of social media, when you have to commit yourself, like for example, Queensbury, Matchroom, when the fights come up, they have a fight on nearly every other week. And a normal working week, when I was proper doing it and knuckle down on it, is a 3 to 4 day a week commitment. So you'll have media, you'll have a media day, you'll have a weigh-in day, you have an open workout day, and then you have the actual fight. That's 4 days gone. So if they're in London, you're literally either staying there or you're commuting back and forward on a daily basis, and that's a long day. It's a whole day gone.
I know. Playing a Slade song later and it's not a Christmas song. Playing a Bublé song, it's not a Christmas. Lunch with Ali Rashid on the show this afternoon, who is a TikToker and a YouTuber and a motivational athlete, runs a dessert shop. I don't know where he sleeps. Lion AR Official is the thing to go and check out, right, to find where you are on various different platforms.
That's right, Lion AR Official on TikTok, YouTube, and on Instagram.
You were in the news a while back. Guy was not having the best of times, and you rushed to his aid.
Oh wow!
What happened there, man?
Well, that was wow. Yeah. I was on Instagram. Was going to go live. I was doing an open workout with another YouTuber, and I was just prepping up like the platform and everything else. And I get a phone call, and this one, Instagram was quite new with the voice calls, because you can't call from Instagram platform up until about 2 years ago. And my phone starts ringing on a funny tone, and I'm thinking, where's that coming from? So I looked over and I see my phone ringing on Instagram, and it said name of one of my followers. I've spoken to him in the past, and he's ringing me, and I was thinking, you can't, huh? So I took the phone call, and he's very teary on the other side. And he said to me, I'm gonna, just basically I want to end my life. And I was like, is this a prank, or is this for real? Because some people prank YouTubers and stuff and they record it and whatever else. Anyway,
some weird behaviour, but you take something like that seriously, don't you?
Of course you do, because it raises alarm bells. When he's called me, I've literally just spoken to him a little bit. I don't want to go into the conversation.
No, we don't need to share too much. But
I kind of realised he definitely needed my help. So what I did, I have another phone. So what I did, I put him on mute, because I said, look, I can't really hear you. Just stay on the line 1 minute. I rang up the police. So I wanted some assistance, and they told me to basically go to him, but this is the do's and this is the don'ts.
Yeah.
So I've got them, and I told them, they said, well, stay on the line. How far are you away from him? I said, I'm 10 minutes away from him, because he's on one of the train tracks in Derby. I was like, okay. So I've jumped in my car, driven down, and I've kept talking to him all the time, but I've got the police listening as well. And then at the same time, I pulled up for a minute. I've realised I know somebody who's very well connected in their community. So I rang up, he's a good friend of mine, and he kind of told me, yeah, he has emotional family problems, he's heard about it. If you can get there, then message me and I'll get hold of his family for you and everything else. So I was just trying to network in, got there, got him in my car, and I only said to him, look, I'll be 10 minutes, I'll come to you. If I come to you, will you not do what you want to do today and talk to me instead? He said, if you come to me, I'll sit with you. So once I got him in the car, my intention was to take him to the hospital. The police told me take to the hospital. And once we got him in there, he was absolutely like a little bit terrified. So I went and spent the whole 2 or 3 hours with him, Once his family turned up, I was a bit relieved. So then I left him in good hands. The next day, I get messages from his family, from him, thanking me, praising me. But it wasn't about that. For me, it was like, I've done one good deed for my day today, and it makes me feel better and make me sleep better at night. And then now he's completely like rehabilitated. He's in the gym. He's looking good. You know, he's got past all this emotional stress he was under, and it's just the right call, wasn't it?
He's in a better place.
He's in a better, and that makes me want to do more. That's what pushes me to kind of grow and, you know, give advice and, you know, and everything else on social media. That's why.
It's a reminder as well, though, isn't it? Of if you like the responsibility. It's all very well, you know, going out there to look for, oh, look how many followers I've got, blah blah blah. But it's a community, and you're at the front end of it.
You know what? You don't know who's, because when you, like, for example, I look at my stories on Instagram. Some days it's 8,000, some days 10,000, some days 6,000. But you don't know who's looking at you, because you literally can't look through and know every person, because people carry different names on social media. But every so often, you'll get someone reaching out to you saying, oh, brilliant, we like this, or we like that, or it's made my day, it's motivated me to go to the gym, or, you know, and that's the thing. Even if it happens every 2 weeks or once a month, it kind of makes you realize somebody out there is looking for you for inspiration. And even as a parent, you want to be the one who inspires your children. So when they look at you, they're thinking, yeah, you know, dad's out there.
You're modelling the right choices.
This is it, exactly. You know, my dad don't smoke, my dad don't drink. Whenever I see him, he's either training. And a big part of my life as well, behind the scenes, is me being part of religion. My religion is Islam, and I love practicing it. So if my children walk in and I'm in the house, I'm either praying or I'm either training. So the two things they'll
praying
see
or training, one of the
yeah,
two.
they'll see me in the prayer mat, or they'll see me lifting weights. And it's for them, if they even take 10 or 20% of that towards their psyche, it will set them up to do good things over bad things. They'll make the right choices over the bad choices. It's easily done. What's
your goal? What's your ultimate goal? I mean, do you want to keep? You can't keep growing everything that you're doing that much. There's not time in the day.
Yeah, I think 1 million followers is what I want to get, because just that number, million. When I first started off, I wanted 100,000. Got to 100,000. I was on 333,000 this time last year. I'm on 460,000 this year. But the growth has been bigger this year than it has the last year. When you was talking about pop and roll,
yeah,
there was a couple of Google records we did in there, and I think that was the reason why it was, because of marketing, but also my social media networking. It helped us get there. So, because you asked me this on the break, and I forgot to go into it, but literally we broke the 5-star, most 5 stars in a week for a UK small set was 50 5-stars. You've got to be consistent, no 4 or 3 in the middle. We got 53, and then the first to 100 was done in 3 weeks. We did it in 10 days. So yeah, so that's what I mean. It's like you're always trying to.
Do you realise how often in conversation, and I'm not in a humble way, I don't think this is in any way in a bragging way, but there's something about your psyche. How often you say, "Oh, it's the most, it's the biggest. I'm the you know, I've got the biggest number." It's
a good point. It's a good point.
You're driven by targets, man.
Yeah, that's it. Because when I think, you know, because I listen to a lot of talks and I read books, and what keeps me motivated is to aspire, but to become the best you're becoming. And every day, set a goal that you achieve or help somebody or do something. And when you talk about yourself in a way where you are the best, or you want to be the best, or you're aspiring to be the best. Because if you've got any of them 3 things going on, you literally do the best you can do every single day. That's the difference between procrastinating, watching TV for 6 hours, or saying, you know what, I've got to go to the gym and deadlift. Set myself a new goal recently, to deadlift, because I've got the next vlog I'm releasing on my channel is regarding a heritage lifter. He's from the Sikh community, Mr. Avtar Singh, and he broke powerlifting records in the 80s and the 90s. So I've interviewed him, but I've been talking to him for the good last 5 or 6 months, every other week, and he's helping me pick my deadlift up. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. When you learn, you adapt, you put it in, and you show people the results, then they think he's done it, we've seen him, and now we're going to try and do the same. So I was doing 200 kilo deadlift at the start, like 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm up to 270. My target is 300 kilos. I'm at 90 kilo body weight, so that'll be brilliant, because it'll be like 3.4, which is almost really good deadlift. So that's what I mean. It's like learning from people. Like I'm sitting with you here.
Yeah.
And I see you, and I've been asking you how long you've been doing this, and you told me you're doing it for a long time.
You think I'd be better at it by now?
No, you're brilliant. This is what I'm saying. You've got the banter, you've got the personality, and you've got the knack of when to come in and what to ask, and that takes experience. I've done this radio thing a little bit, and I know.
You're in class, weren't you?
Yeah, radio class, yeah, and just time commitment, and I pulled away. But I used to love it. But for you to bring on a guest and get a good show done, you hit them endorphins, thinking, yeah, I've had a good show.
It's not about me. What's coming up in the calendar? Because you go on all these trips covering the boxing and you know the big events. What are you looking forward to at the moment?
I want to get to Dubai. I've not been to Dubai since COVID happened. I used to fly out quite a bit, and I went to Jeddah to see the Amir Khan fighters, media for that, and I was flying out twice a year minimal, and it all stopped. So since then, because of all this commitment, I've literally not been able to get away. So hopefully Dubai, and if Andrew Tate's there, just took all the social media on, you know, got silenced, but he's still a voice to, you know, people are still drawing in massive numbers to him. And ultimately, you know, when I listen to what he's saying, you take the rough with the smooth, but I see a lot of goodness in what he says in terms of positivity and staying away from certain things and certain, you know, things that other influencers promote, like, you know, drinking and this and that. And he's not really about that stuff. And for me, that's my kind of ideology of where I want to be and what I want to put out there. Does that make sense?
Totally. It's also, we're over time. Look at that. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, Ian, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. And honestly, keep doing what you're doing, because being opposite you today, it's just made me realise what a good host you are. So yeah, do this, man, and a regular. And I'll be listening to your show from now on.
It can come again.
Anytime. So will this be on the broadcast or something if I want to catch up, or if any of the followers want to catch up?
You'll always find us on BBC Sounds.
Okay, that's great. No worries.
Good to meet you.
Just come out of Radio Derby, and to be fair, it was a good show. Ian, he's a good host, and he had some lovely questions, and I enjoyed it. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. If it's the first time you're watching me, like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Freakem.
You're watching Lion AR on freakemtv. Freakem, baby. Freakem, baby. Freakem, baby.